Most people don't realize how exhausted they really are until even the smallest task starts feeling heavy. You tell yourself you'll reply to that message later. You keep postponing simple things. Your room gets messy. Your motivation disappears. You stare at your work for 20 minutes and still can't start. And eventually, you start calling yourself lazy. But deep down, it doesn't feel like laziness. Because lazy people usually don't care. You care a lot. In fact, maybe that's the problem. Your brain has been carrying too much for too long. Too many thoughts. Too many expectations. Too much pressure. Too many things left unfinished. And at some point your mind stops saying, I need motivation. It starts saying, I need rest. The scary part is that mental exhaustion doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like procrastination. Sometimes it looks like sleeping too much. Sometimes it looks like scrolling for hours because your brain can't handle one more difficult thought. You wake up tired. You go through the day tired. And then you blame yourself for not being productive enough. A lot of people today are not physically tired. They're emotionally overloaded. Your mind was never designed to process endless notifications, comparison, pressure, bad news, expectations, and constant stimulation every single day without consequences. Think about how most people live now. The first thing they see in the morning is their phone. Before their brain even wakes up properly, they're already consuming stress. Messages, videos, deadlines, people doing better than them online. There's no silence anymore, no pause. And when your brain never gets a moment to breathe, eventually it starts shutting down in small ways. That's why you can spend an entire day doing nothing and still feel exhausted at night. Because mental energy is real. Decision fatigue is real. Emotional burnout is real. Overstimulation is real. And most people keep trying to solve mental exhaustion with motivation. That's why the cycle never ends. You watch productivity videos. You create strict schedules. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow comes, and your brain still feels heavy. Not because you're weak. Not because you're incapable. Because you never recovered. One thing I had to learn the hard way is this. You cannot hate yourself into becoming disciplined. A lot of people are secretly trying to do exactly that. They think being hard on themselves will somehow fix everything. So every night becomes another conversation full of guilt. I'm wasting my life. I'm behind. Why can't I just focus? What's wrong with me? But guilt drains energy too. And eventually, your mind starts associating work, growth, and even simple responsibilities with emotional pain. So you avoid them. Because your brain is trying to protect itself. Sometimes procrastination isn't avoidance of work. It's avoidance of the emotions attached to the work. Fear of failure. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of disappointing yourself again. That's why even opening your laptop can feel mentally exhausting some days. And honestly, a lot of people don't need stricter discipline first. They need clarity. They need emotional stability. They need healthier mental habits. Because discipline grows better in a calm mind than in a constantly overwhelmed one. This is also why people keep falling into dopamine traps. Short videos, constant scrolling, gaming for hours, refreshing apps every few minutes. People think they're addicted to entertainment, but often they're just desperate for relief. Your brain wants escape from pressure, escape from overthinking, escape from stress. And fast dopamine gives temporary comfort. The problem is that after hours of distraction, reality is still waiting for you. Except now you feel guilty too. Escape from overthinking. Escape from stress. So the cycle repeats again. And slowly, you begin doubting yourself more and more. You stop trusting your ability to follow through. You stop believing you're disciplined. You stop believing you can change. That's why mental exhaustion is dangerous when ignored for too long. It slowly attacks your confidence. But here's the good news. Your life usually doesn't change through one giant breakthrough. It changes when your nervous system finally feels safe enough to function properly again. That's when focus starts returning. That's when consistency becomes easier. That's when discipline feels lighter instead of painful. So instead of asking, how do I force myself harder? Maybe ask, what is draining me so much? That question changes everything. Maybe it's constant comparison. Maybe it's lack of sleep. Maybe it's too much pressure. Maybe it's unresolved stress. Maybe it's trying to improve every area of your life all at once. A mentally overwhelmed person often keeps adding pressure instead of removing weight. And eventually they collapse under expectations they were never meant to carry alone. You do not need to fix your entire life this week. You probably just need to slow down enough to think clearly again. Start small. Overwhelmed brains need proof that progress is possible again. Clean one corner of your room. Reply to one email. Study for 20 minutes. Go outside for a walk. Drink water. Sleep earlier tonight. Simple things matter more than people think. Because every small action sends a message to your brain. I'm trying again. And over time, those small moments rebuild self-trust. That's what confidence actually is. Not loud motivation. Not pretending to have your life together. Confidence is quietly proving to yourself, over and over again, that you can rely on yourself. Also, stop expecting yourself to perform at 100% mentally while constantly neglecting rest. Rest is not laziness. Your phone needs charging. Your body needs sleep. Your brain needs silence too. You cannot endlessly consume stimulation and expect inner peace at the same time. Some of the most productive people are not the busiest people. They're the people who learned how to protect their mental energy. They know when to pause. They know when to disconnect. They know when to stop overwhelming themselves. And maybe that's what you need right now. Not another productivity hack. Not another extreme routine. They know when to stop overwhelming themselves. Because your value as a person was never tied to how many tasks you completed. And if nobody has told you this recently, being mentally drained does not make you a failure. It makes you human. So be patient with yourself. But also be honest with yourself. Your mind deserves care, not constant punishment. Start rebuilding slowly. Clear the noise little by little. Protect your energy more carefully. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you enjoy simple ideas that help you build a stronger mindset and better habits, make sure you subscribe for more.